I'm Blair Gilbert here from MrHardware.com and Gilbert's Pro Hardware, here to show you how you can use a circular saw and a hand grinder for cutting steel. This particular circular saw blade is designed for steel cutting. And make sure you don't get any rust from where you've sawn or where your screws go through. And I dipped the screw in the oil-based paint. I have to take this steel beam. I'm building a steel deck. This is the ledger that's on the wall. I have to notch this beam so it fits over the step that's in this ledger. So what I got to do is I got to drill 2 holes for my corners, and then I'm going to cut in. And you can see if you take your time with this. So to finish my cut, I use this metal cutting abrasive blade on my hand grinder. This cuts steel also, just not as quickly as cleanly as a carbide metal cutting blade. Notice there's 2 ways to handle the grinder. As it's spinning, it's going to throw sparks one way or the other. Typically, you'd like the sparks to be thrown down, not up at your face. So, watch. If anybody asks, I'm wearing my asbestos socks with my flip-flops. Be careful of is the metal filings. You leave any behind? When building anything out of steel, and it's going to be outside, and it's been like this has all been powder coated, you'd really like to go the extra mile sometimes and make sure you don't get any rust from where you've sawn or where your screws go through. I brushed away all the metal filings. There's no metal filings underneath. And in here, a little satin Rust-Oleum oil-based paint. I take my hex head screw with the drill bit built into it, although I drilled a pilot hole, so I'm not going to get as much metal filings out of here. And I dip the screw in the oil-based paint. Then when I attach it, the 3 screws have been installed, plenty of paint around them, not too much extra effort on my part. And when you look inside, you see the screws are still coated with paint. So I've just saved myself from any rust coming out from these screw holes. Where I've cut metal and have raw edges, and they recommend 2 coats to make sure I don't get rust streaks running down my deck because it's overhead and I don't want to see it from underneath. So here I am out on the deck. You can see this ledger board is put on the side of my house, ready for the joist to be plugged in, and here's the bond that you just saw me notch. It's notched, installed, ready to bear all. So here's the replacement of my walkout deck. My temporary supports that are holding up the roof, and here's the beam. So it's ready for the beam to come from here to go across to connect together to all my other posts, and once I get it up, then I can take and run the floor joist. So here is the whole reason for doing this project and finding carbide blades that are metal cutting. So this is the structure that used to hold up my upper deck. You can see 45 years ago, I mortise and tendoned these beams together. From MrHardware.com.